All right, Shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And also peace and safety to the Akim that spread across the four corners of the world. Is pushing out this truth with all diligence and also putting their lives on the line to do so. And the brother Karas is out here. I have Great Millstone, Atlanta. Here with the lesson, going into the topic of not taking pleasure, in this wicked world, because, it's Esau, the so-called white man, uses folliness, and throws it in the face, of the people to distract them, from reality on what's actually going on, their agenda, with the New World Order, the mark of the beast, so on and so forth, and they throw folliness in the face of the people, such as, entertainment, these, resorts and beaches and, all of these things, to distract you. Matter of fact, let me get the etymology of the word distract. This distract, it says, from the late 14th century, distracting, it says to turn or draw a person, the mind, aside or away from an object. And there's, we go into the word government, all the time. The word govern means to rule, and ment is your mental, So how do these people distract you by how the government runs things, man? Because our mind and our thoughts supposed to be geared to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, right? Even with our daily activities and work, school, whatever the case may be, our thoughts, are supposed to be geared towards the scriptures, But this, like I said, this devil draws or turn your mind away, or tries to turn your mind away from those things, via entertainment. Social media is a big one. TikTok and Instagram, and all that BS, It says, divert the attention from any point toward another point. You see, so divert your attention. You see, which let me grab the scriptures real quick. In Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 19 and verse 5, it says, "Whoso taketh pleasure in wickedness shall be condemned, but he that resisteth pleasures crowneth his life." You see, so our big thing is to resist the pleasure. The pleasure is only temporary. It's only a temporary thing, and then what is back to reality. You may go to let's say a concert, your favorite artist, you drinking and you know the song, the lyrics, but when that concert is over, you the first thing you think about, what, damn, I gotta go to work tomorrow. I gotta get, food for the kids, and, my money is still kind of short. I bought these tickets and my money it's all, so Esau distracts you, from reality. And that's how a lot of people, get into depression. They go into debt, because they're not facing reality. That's why the scripture says, "He that resisteth pleasures crowneth his life." Because, matter of fact, let me get that. It's 1 Corinthians 7 and 31. And they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. You know? So for the fashions of this world, they passed away. What's the fashions, man? The way that this society is being ran. You know, when the Lord, you know, brings the kingdom of heaven, it's not going to be ran this way, man. You know, it's not going to be governed this way. You know, it's going to be governed in righteousness and not wickedness. All right, the Lord is going to get rid of the wickedness of this place, man. Because even with a lot of it, you know, you see, you know, a lot of, you know, adultery, you know, murder, you know, nakedness, you know, nude acts, you know. So the Lord is he's getting rid of all of the wickedness, man. You know. Go back to scripture in Sirach, you know, which came to my mind. Sirach chapter 39 and verse 1 says, "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies." You see? So that's where we are supposed to be occupied in, man. You know, not wickedness. We're supposed to be occupied in the prophecies, you know, that the Bible speak of. You know, and that's why brothers, you know, are paying attention to, you know, Mark of the Beast news, you know, the war with Iran, you know, and Israel, you know, the war with Russia, you know, certain, you know, land masses, you know, certain, you know, countries backing away from the dollar, you know. These are the things that we're supposed to be paying attention to, you know, in order, you know, to receive that crown, like it spoke of in Sirach, the 19th chapter. You know, the scripture tells us also in Romans, the 12th chapter, you know, to what? Not to be conformed to this world, but to renew our mind. You know, so our mind is supposed to be what? Given to the law of the Most High. You know, by reading, studying, you know, continuing to get understanding, you know, these breakdowns, you know, so that we will be saved. You know, so I just wanted to touch on that. You know, I didn't want it to be a long lesson. The Lord willing, it was edifying. I'm going to go ahead and close up by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And until the next time, Shalom.